You know, school teaching is probably one of the most dangerous professions there is now because with the way the laws are written, all the kids got to do is make an accusation, you know, true or not, just make it up because, you know, they don't like the grade you gave them or whatever, and boy, your career is just down the toilet. Whether, you know, you can be innocent as you want at the end of it all, but the career is still down the toilet.
Well, you're very right on that. And my wife was a teacher in California for years, and she taught 6th grade there. And there was a guy that taught kindergarten. And you know, at that age, you know, kindergarten, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, they need a parent, they need a mommy as much as anybody. And these kids come up and they relate to their teacher and they hug them, and they're only, you know, 2.5 feet tall. They hug them around the leg. And it's just how kids respond, you know, and it's a compliment. And son of a gun, if some upstart vice principal didn't see that and accused him of all kinds of horrible things, and he's not allowed to let any of the kids touch him, and that's going to do these kids more harm than good. These kids need physical contact. I mean, they need some reassurance, and it's just so frustrating, and it just really makes me angry. You know, that I used to give my granddaughters a hug all the time, and it was the most, you know, it meant the world to me, and to not be able to do that when, at any rate, I'm sure you understand what I'm saying. It just is very frustrating, and it was very, very difficult for him, and I think he ended up getting out of teaching because of it.
Yeah, I know there's some careers that have went down the toilet because of just some accusations. Being a male teacher in a high school environment is probably one of the most dangerous professions there are right now as far as, you know, longevity of your career, because all you got to do is tick one of them off, and they just walk in and just make an accusation, and you're done. You know, so, and they don't pay as well as it should either. So, yeah, my hat's off to any one of them that can actually survive it.
Well, I agree with you wholeheartedly, and my wife's been in it her entire life. She wanted to be a teacher since she was about 5 years old, and she is, if there was ever a natural-born teacher, she's the one. In fact, when she was, I think, in 3rd grade, or maybe it was 5th grade, 4th grade, and her brother was two years behind him. He wasn't in school yet. And she would come home from school and set up a little classroom and teach him everything that she learned that day. And this kid, he did so well in school. They thought he was a genius, and he just had a great sister that was a good teacher.
Well, good on her. You know, and it's because it's a tough environment to be in anymore with the way the rules, regulations are, and the laws and everything. You know, they're just written not to actually protect the teacher. And yeah, well, so good for her. Yeah, I'm going to go back to listing here. I got some more work to get done. If I'm never going to make it to the Bahamas if I don't get this stuff done. Over.
All right, really good. I appreciate your comments and your presence there, as always. But yeah, she feels sorry for any male teacher because they're just not allowed to touch the kids. And these people, they all love their students. I mean, and it's you know, nothing but platonic and parental type of care, and but you don't dare, you know, pat a kid on the head or put an arm around one because, you know, everything's going to come down on you. So, but being a female, she can get away with that, and well, get away with it. That's horrible, but that's what it amounts to. And you know, she can, you know, demonstrate some caring and some empathy and all those things that these kids need, and it works. And she's an awesome teacher. But at any rate, us males aren't allowed to be that way. So 7-3 N8IPS.
Yeah. And carry on. K1LCA on.
Man, I get so worked up over that, John. Gee. How Holly and I have that conversation, 2 or 3 times a year, and I go into her classroom, and I'm afraid to touch these kids. Put a hand on their head or their shoulder, and just, let them know I care about them. And my gosh, you can't do that. And that's just sad. It's just sad that the world has come to that. But at any rate, I'm still looking forward to working in her classroom as I get closer to retirement. And we had a great time last year. I helped them out with some different projects, and I was kind of like the old uncle that was there. So, but good group of kids. They really are, and they don't think the worst of us. Thank goodness. Over to you, John, if you're still there. N8IPS.
And N8IPS, N4LWR. I'm still here. I must agree there was a time when nothing would happen. The teachers and faculty got away with a lot, and it just seems to have overcorrected itself to the extreme opposite end of the spectrum, and that's kind of sad. And I know that even being new to the area and kind of driving around during the school time, they actually tapped on the truck when I was going through and asked me what I happened to be doing in the area. I had an out-of-state plate, and they wanted to know what I was doing near the school. Just trying to find my way back to the house since moving here, sort of thing. So you just got to watch it all the way around.
Yeah, that's true, and it's a shame that everybody has that paranoia. And if you give people a chance, most people, I still believe, maybe foolishly, that most people still have their good side, and they would take care of kids if they were in trouble, and take care of their relatives if they needed help. And but the world doesn't seem to even think that way anymore. That they always assume the worst instead of the best.
And that doesn't help things at all, that's for sure. And when you've got those classrooms and that many kids, they're already stretching the teachers thin, and the home lives of these kids, you don't know what they're like, and you just want to be friendly to them, but you definitely got to watch yourself.
Oh, for sure. Hey, something here that might really surprise you, that Holly's always looking for bruises and that kind of thing and she doesn't jump, to the conclusion, because kids are kids, and they fall down the stairs and they bump into stuff, and she realizes that. But, if she sees a pattern, she's going to act on it. And she's very good at ferreting out, what really needs attention and what doesn't. And the number one day that they look for child abuse is the day after the Super Bowl. And if the local favorite team doesn't win, they are very concerned. That's when they see bruises and kids all banged up and cut. And I just am dumbfounded by that. That some sports fanatic idiot would take it out on their own child that his team didn't win. But that's the honest truth, and she's mentioned that for years, that she's always been concerned about the day after the Super Bowl.
I've never heard anything like that, but it probably is true. They've got folks that study behavioral patterns and have determined that this is meant to take a closer look at those sorts of things, and that's really sad.
It is. It's extremely sad. I never heard of such a thing in my whole life until I met her. And she said that's been her habit,